Hey traders, in today's video, I want to share with you a trade that just formed recently on the Forex market. I'm trading the Forex markets right now and the futures markets, like I do every afternoon. And there's a trade that's recently happened for me, and I want to share with you what that trade was and all the details to that. So let's get straight into it, guys. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders. So let's get straight into this setup here. I want to share with this really simple pattern that I use. It really is my number one sort of trading pattern that I use, guys, and I wanted to share it with you for free to help you guys out, and hopefully you guys can go look for this trading pattern itself, right? Because that really is incredible. Now, guys, what you want to do, the best thing about what I'm about to teach you here is go back and back test this, okay? Back test it, test it out, see how it works for you, and so on and so forth. Obviously, you got to have the proper risk management, the proper stops, losses, and also the best way to exit it, and exiting these trades so you can let your profits run and cut your losses short. So right now, guys, I'm actually looking at the Euro USD. This is a 2-minute chart here. So for me personally, guys, the way that I personally trade is I trade the last half an hour of the US stock market. So I live in Australia. So the last half an hour of the US stock market, that's from 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. I trade that, okay? So I trade that. And I actually have scans that actually utilize that for me, you know what I mean? So I use scans, I use a whole scanning process, and stuff like that as well too. So but then in the afternoon, what I like to do is I like to trade from right now it's around almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon my time, and I start to look at the markets around, say, that 3:30 time, possibly even early. If I look at the markets early, I'm seeing what's going on, and this is exactly what actually happened recently on this chart as well too. I was looking at the markets throughout the day. It was lunchtime around midday, and I'm like, oh, this actually could be setting up. And then came 1 o'clock. I'm like, oh, this actually could be. So I really watched it, and I want to share this setup with you. Okay, So that's how I trade. But the thing for me, guys, is I really only use one moving average. Like, I've got two moving averages on the screen here. This one is a 52 moving average on a 2-minute chart. But I also use the 52 moving average on a daily chart. I like to use the 52 moving average on most of my time frames, and then every now and then on some of my, like, what we call higher time frames, I will use what's called a 24. But let me just take the 9 moving average off here for a minute, okay? And the thing that I really want to just share with you is that this trading pattern works again and again and again, and it's pretty powerful, okay? So as I said before, guys, I trade this system here using the stock market itself, and also utilizing the Forex and the futures markets in the afternoon for intraday basis. So what this setup is, guys, it's really simple. If you've been following me for the last couple of weeks, you know I talk about the L-shaped pattern, right? Or the upside down L-shaped pattern. So that simply means if we have a movement down like here, okay, and then we have a movement up like that, right? So it's a bit like an L-shaped pattern. Now, before I continue that, guys, I actually spoke to someone recently, and it really sort of dawned on me that my trading has become so successful, but all I utilize is patterns on the charts. I don't use fundamentals or news announcements or anything like that when I'm trading the markets. Why? Because, say for example, if I'm in a trade right now in the 2-minute chart, I may only be in it for half an hour, sometimes even just even just maybe 10 minutes. I'm in that trade, in and out. So I'm not utilizing fundamental news, right? So I'm just getting in and getting out, and sometimes these things can last. Sometimes these trades can last a couple of hours, and sometimes they're gonna cut short. I'll talk about that in just a minute. But I'm looking for the L-shaped pattern, right? Or if you look at it from an upside down perspective, I'm just looking for a market that's gone up, and then I'm looking for a slow across like that, right? So sort of like what we have. You look at this here, it's gone up. And notice how we've just overall really have just gone slow across through there. See that through there? So it's really just, it's not the exact perfect type of bars, because what I prefer to see is the market going up like this here, right? And then we have these small bars going through here. But it's not the exact perfect setup, but that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this type of setup, like an upside down L shape, and I'm looking for it to go to a 52 moving average, Again, guys, this is the live market here right now. Look at this here. This is the Forex market right now in the afternoon. And so again, guys, I utilize this on all my all my trading, right? And I'm having a phenomenal time. Yesterday, I had a trade on the Aussie market as well too, on the Aussie stock market, phenomenal trade, and I had a couple of trades as well too on the Forex and futures markets yesterday. So you can see here, right? We're just looking for an up, or we're looking for a sideways, and then what we're looking for is we're looking for this 52 moving average to be trending up, and then see this very big breakaway bar. This is the big breakaway bar. This one here. I wait for the close of that bar, then I enter in on that bar, and then I look to write it up. Okay. Now that doesn't look like much, guys, but when you start to become really good at what you do, and you can start to increase your level of risk because you're profitable. What I like to do is I like to have a stop at the low of the bar. So let's just say, for example, this trade here, you had a $5,000 risk on it, okay? A $5,000, and that's where the stop is there. Well, as you can see, this did pretty much roughly around by the time I got out, it was close to 1-to-1. So that means it was $5,000 profit, because that was your risk, $5,000 profit. Now I personally have a lot more risk than that. I personally like to do around 20K risk per trade. Myself, so you can sort of do the numbers yourself on this particular trade here. But that's what I'm sharing with you here, right? It's like, it doesn't matter. Once you start to get comfortable, you can start to, you don't need big moves, right, to make really good income. And so this one here, just a quick in and out, but that's been it for the afternoon, right? Look at this here. There hasn't been any other setups, but then we came up sideways, moving average, breakaway bar, and then we had a nice little move. And this I actually had this level up here as resistance, so I knew it was probably like at least get to there. And that's when I started looking to get out of this position from a trading perspective here, from this here. So it really comes back down to that, guys. All I'm looking for is I'm looking for a market to do like this and like that. Then I'm really looking forward to what? And then I'm looking for this. This is a 52 moving average here, okay? The 52 MA, and 52 MA. And by the way, traders, that I think it's the first link in the description there, guys. In my trading course, my master in the markets trading course, I'm giving you free membership access. I have another video walking through a bit more detail about this actual trading system in that course that I'm giving you free access to. So you can go get access to that if you want to, and you can really start to learn. And you'll start to learn a lot. You'll start to see why I actually break it down the way I do, and so on and so forth. But I wanted to share this with you guys to give you a bit of a heads up on what you should be looking for and what I look for, guys. And again, for me personally, guys, it's not about me being lucky. Right, I'm not trying to guess the market. I'm not trying to hope the market does something. I'm not trying to do anything like that. Right, all I'm doing is I'm waiting for my pattern, and it really, like, guys, it really is that simple, right? And then I'm gonna sit here as long as I have to and wait for the pattern. Oh, there's the pattern. Boom, 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 boom. Right, stop loss is down there. Move your stop loss up. Get taken out. You see what I'm saying there, right? So I'm looking for a movement to there, and then I'm looking for a big strong breakaway bar, breaking past this level of resistance. Okay, and generally what I like to do as well too, depending on the trade, but this is where the 9 moving average comes in play, because I like to use the 9 moving average, because the 9 moving average sort of I use it more like an exit point, but I'm utilizing a stop management as well too. But if you see here, this trade here was enter there and then exit up here as well too, right? So it's by utilizing the 9 moving average, you don't know how long these moves are going to last. These things can just keep going and going and going. And one thing I found by utilizing the 9 moving average, you get out here, and as you can see, by the time it actually gets below the moving average, so you're in here, by the time it starts to get below the moving average, you know that move has possibly come to an end, and so that's telling you that trade has been done, right? This is the art of actually trading the markets. Does that make sense, guys? So this is the system here, really in a nutshell, from this perspective here. Again, guys, I'm just doing this recording here just to share with you, like, if you are, as you can look, like, see my screen, right? There's actually really nothing on my screen here. I have this level of resistance up here, right? I have that level of resistance where it is there, and I have this level of support resistance. But notice how I only really have only one moving average on the screen, right? And again, if I take all that off the screen, right? And then if I take that off the screen, I only have one moving average on the screen, maybe two, but I don't really use the 9 that much, right? And again, you can see the market moving live right now. This is the Euro USD. And that's all I use. And my success rate has gone through the roof. I do go through periods where I do have some small losses, small profits, where the trades are not really moving, that you go through those periods, right? That's called trading. But the reason why I wanted to share this with you guys is because I wanted to share with you that I used to trade where there was like the stochastics and the RSIs and the MACDs and the Bollinger Bands and the 4,000 moving averages and so on and so forth. Traders, it doesn't have to be that complicated. It really doesn't. Like we don't have to check the inflation number report to see which way we should trade and so on and so forth. To me, guys, it doesn't matter whether it's the stock market or whether it's a 2-minute Forex chart, or whether I'm looking at, say, you know, maybe I'm looking at the DAX or the S&P on the futures market, which again, it's just after 4 o'clock in the afternoon for me right now. So I'm going to start to look at a lot of the actual futures as well too, as doing that. But I like to keep an eye on the Forex during the day because there's some really good trading patterns. And as you can see here, and I was waiting for it, guys. Like, what was I waiting for? So look at this here. So what did I see? I see that we actually had a move up and then a move sideways, right? And I said, okay, cool. Well, we have this level up here, right? We have this level up here. And if indeed we do start to get if we do start to get a big breakout bar above that, I know just by looking back in the past, right? I also knew that looking back in the past, guess what? Resistance here, resistance and resistance, right? So really simple. So as soon as I saw this, right? As soon as I saw this, let's go to here. Oh, let's go. Right, there we go. Right. So as soon as I saw that, you go sideways, sideways, sideways. And the reason why you don't ever want to preempt this, right? You don't ever want to say, oh, I'm going to get in now because it's going to go up. Because so many times the market could go like that and does not confirm the trade. Right? We need to wait for the breakaway bar to break up with the direction of the 52, right? So we need something like boom, like that. As you can see, we need something like that. The reason why we look for the breakaway bar first is because then it gives us a high probability that we're going to see a nice move up from there, right? And then we can manage it and so on and so forth from there. Does that make sense? And again, guys, this is actually quite a short-term move, but I wanted to share this with you here. There's been plenty of trades over the last couple of weeks on the Forex and futures markets that have done really well for me. And I wanted to share this with you guys to show you, like, listen, you guys are really overcomplicating it way too much. And this is probably one of the reasons why you're not doing too well in your trading. You know, and guys, if you really do need some help, that second link in the description, you can actually apply to actually join my coaching program. And I will be there every day showing you my trades and coaching you every day for the next 12 months to help you along your journey if that's what you need. If you're struggling, and you can see what I'm saying here, like this is actually quite simple and maybe you're overcomplicating it, then come on down, fill out that application. Again, that second link in the description there, guys. Fill out that application form and I'll personally call you to see if we're a good fit for the actual coaching program, where I will hold your hand every day and show you what I'm doing and all that sort of stuff as well too. So anyway, guys, that second link in the description, go click on that, go do that right now. But I really wanted to drive home the point that I've been trading the markets now for 19 years myself. And the big thing for me, right? The big thing for me when I'm trading the markets was removing a lot of the stuff that I thought I needed to have, right? I was always thinking that I needed to have the indicators, right? I needed to have the RSI, I needed to have the stochastics, I needed to have that. And one thing I realized more and more by people who actually do 7 figures or more in the markets, guys, right? People who make more than 7 figures, make more than $1 million per year out of that. Now that's $1 million profits, right? Now, one thing I want to stop you there, guys. When I say $1 million profit, one thing you'll find, the truth about $1 million profit per year is 1 month they might make 200 grand and the next month they might be flat. Or maybe even slightly down, maybe a few $1,000s. You know what I mean? Or maybe 5 or 10 grand. And then the next month they might be up 150 grand. You know what I mean? Like, and then the next month their account might be flat because there was no trades there. So when I say $1 million per year, that's not like $80,000 a month, right? That's not how the markets work. Some months it's active and there's a lot of trades going on, and therefore there's a really, like, for example, last couple of weeks I've had like close to 10 trades. I think it's around 10 trades in total in the last 2 weeks. 100% success rate for myself using this exact same system I'm talking about. Aussie stock market daily chart, US stock market. I'm actually still in a couple of US stocks right now as I speak. Forex and futures trading, right? And so, guys, you really can do this. But if we can just remove one thing, as I said before, one thing I found by studying the 7-figure traders, the people who do really well from trading, you'll notice that these people who do really well from trading, not investing. Investing is buy and hold long term. This is trading, what I'm talking about here, right? Trading where you're looking for a good pattern, get in, get out, and so on and so forth, and then make the money like I did today. You'll find that it's very, 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 very simple like this. You don't need to complicate it. And one thing I do say is if your screen doesn't look like this, but it has a lot of lines on the screen and a lot of chart and 10,000 10,000 or 1,000 different support resistance lines, different RSI, different stochastics, all that sort of stuff. That there is the thing that's creating confusion in the markets there. See, guys, the one thing about the markets is we need to keep the main thing the main thing. The market is the main thing, right? So as you can see, most of my decisions is based off the market, and then I use one moving average to help me with the trend. So there we go, traders. Hope that helps you out, and I'll see you in the next video.